It's a beautiful morning at Deptford High School as two Tri-County Royal Division teams look to change their season with a win today, as Highland takes on the Spartans of Deptford. Hello everybody, I'm Marc Narducci along with Shawn Leary on this game where two teams, wins are very hard to come by in the Trico Royal this year. It might be, Shawn, the toughest division maybe it's been in a long time. You have Delsey and Williamstown near the top, so wins are hard to come by. Both these teams very evenly matched today.
Right, and you're exact. When you look at it, Delsey and Williamstown are the cream that rises to the crop in this division, but then underneath that, you really have to make sure that you're piling up some wins if you want to have any chance to do anything to get to the playoffs and even have a shot, because Delsey and Williamstown are so tough. These games are so important for teams like Highland and Deptford.
Now, Deptford, first of all, 0-3 had a very, very tough opener against Pennsville. The schedule lightens up a little bit, so this is a situation where the Spartans, if they're not favored, they're at least going to be considered even with Highland. It's a big game for this program.
You're exactly right, and if you look at last year, these are two teams over the last couple of seasons. It's been a little testy, you know, the typical football stuff, a little pushing and shoving after the game and a couple guys getting into it, but I don't think these teams really like each other that much, and I think that's what's going to make today very interesting. You look at today's game, and if, you know, coming off of last year, you know, Deptford wants the revenge. They had to get only one first down to run out the clock last year, wasn't able to do that. A fumbled snap, defensive end comes in, knocks the ball loose. They turn it the opposite way for a 14-10 victory, like you said. So this is a game where I think both teams, they'd love to see a W.
As Shawn mentioned, that 14-10 win, that was the only win Highland had. But under first-year coach Craig Stinson, this program looks like it's moving up. Highland has not had a winning season since 1993. That's why it makes this game very crucial as its Spartans come in with a 1-2 record. Deptford, of course, 0-3, looking for its first win. Now, when you talk about Highland, I think one of the premier players in South Jersey in fullback defensive end, Shawn Daniels.
Well, when you look at this kid, I mean, he's a man playing with boys. He is a big kid, great size, a fullback who's going to get you the tough yards, but make no mistake, he can jump it to the outside. He's got good speed, comes off that defensive end and really disrupts things for you as well on the defensive side of the ball. You know, this is that physical presence that Deptford's going to have a hard time with. Deptford is not as big as your typical Deptford teams. Yeah. They may struggle with trying to bring this guy down.
And then you talk about Deptford, the key's going to be a quarterback who would probably make anybody's all-tough team, Jerry Cassidy, the junior.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Jeff Garcia-type quarterback. He's a fiery guy. He'll get you those 2 tough yards just by will alone. But this is a guy you like to have leading your team because he's fiery, he's exciting, he wants to win, he's so competitive. You want that guy behind center because that kind of lifts the team up. You need the horses to win the race, but you need a good jockey. He's a good one.
And it should be a good one today. Deptford looking to get its first win. Highland looking to get to the 500 level. We'll be back with the opening kickoff right after this. As we get ready for the kickoff, welcome back, everybody. Marc Narducci along with Shawn Leary. Here from Deptford High School. It was supposed to rain today, but it has been just an absolutely beautiful day. Justin Incarvivi, number 48, will kick. The deep men, Tommy Sampson for Deptford, and number 23, Aaron Painter. That's Painter, or make that's Sampson from the 21, and he got good yardage here, and he's still not down as he gets near the 45-yard line. Good field position for Deptford.
Great way to start the game for Deptford to get a little momentum early in the game, give themselves good field position. Don't expect a ton of scoring in this one, Mark, so field position might be very important. Here you see Jerry Cassidy. Not a big guy at 5'8", 172, but big as far as the way he runs this team. I mentioned he's a fiery guy.
Dillard Lawrence, Justin Richards in the backfield, along with number 21, Keith Smith, who I think we'll see a lot. And Cassidy goes back, and he'll just about get back to the line of scrimmage that time.
Yeah, it looked like that was Jarrell Ingram, the junior, 5'11", 163 pounds. Plays that strong side linebacker position. Cassidy didn't have a whole lot of time to make up any ground when he was initially touched by a Highland defender. And this is the spot where, you know, it's second and long, Mark. We talk about these situations all the time.
Lawrence Stillard, the deep back. And again, Deptford, very little. That whole Highland, the defensive line in there. First guy in there for Highland, number 54, John Peteroff, 6'1", 174 junior.
That time they just did a little fullback dive play. Tommy Sampson, the senior, 5'11", 182 pounds, trying to gain some yards up the middle, and now Jerry Cassidy going to be faced with a third and long. Might try to roll him out to buy some time after a penetration by that defensive line of Highland.
3rd and 10 from the 44. Highland looked like it was ready to jump, but got back. Long count by the Spartans. Number 21, Lawrence Dillard, and he gets just over the line of scrimmage. Again, right there for Highland, Jake Vaughn, number 53.
It looked like Jarrell Ingram in on that play as well, so a couple plays for Ingram, the junior. And Deptford will probably punt. Keith Smith does everything for this team. We'll talk about Keith Smith as the game goes on. He's a guy they'd like to have him touching the football.
Keith Smith is going to have to run it with the bad snap there, and he will not get the first down. So a big break by the Tartans. Again, a heads-up play for Highland by number 56, Milwaukee Ramos that time, and it'll be Highland ball, 1st and 10 from the Deptford 49.
Well, it's still a little slick because it rained a little last night. In fact, you can see him there kind of hydroplane on the field, so that may come into play. It already has, with the ball being a little bit slippery and a turnover. And what's interesting about that is it looked like Al Oriole playing it conservative on 3rd down, playing a field position battle, would have settled for the punt, pinned Highland back, put his defense on the field. That goes for naught.
Todd Tessler, the quarterback, he gives it to Terrell Lane, and Terrell Lane gets a couple yards there.
Mike Pagan coming up, the senior, fired up at 5'11", 150, a linebacker, making the play. And I think this is an important defensive stand for Deptford. They want to make sure they get the ball back. There you see Teschner, quarterback for this team. He's a junior at 5'9", 159 pounds.
Gain of 2 that time, so it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 47. We mentioned Daniels. He's a very tough runner, and there he is with his first carry of the game. Daniels, near the first down, he has it, as he is a very tough runner to bring down. Inside the 40-yard line, Shawn Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a big kid with great size, and what he brings at 6'2", 219 pounds is that ability to get to the edge and put himself in a one-on-one situation with a secondary player, usually going to be bigger than that kid, and can give that stiff arm and go down the sidelines, get the tough yards. So good call on 2nd and 8. Put it in his hands, get him out on the edge.
Gain of 12, 1st and 10 from the 35 for the Tartans. Teschner back to throw, and it is incomplete. And back there defending was number 8, Jamar Ellis, as Teschner was going for Darrell Lane.
Yeah, and he looked like he might have had Lane a step behind the defenders. Jamar Ellis looked like Deptford, the secondary, made a little bit of a mistake of looking in toward the quarterback, and Lane almost sneaks behind.
Shawn Teschner, as you get a look at it right there.
Yeah, they're getting that wing T formation, get the fake. Teschner, it's enough time to put a decent pass. I mean, look, it's just about there for Lane to haul in for a big reception.
2nd and 10 from the 35. It's Lane. Lane across the 30. He has the first down. He's still on his feet. Terrell Lane is tough to bring down near the 10-yard line.
I don't know if we have this on replay, but Daniel Martin, number 25, a freshman, has an outstanding block as you see somebody down there. Not too sure who that is, but you know, Daniel Martin with a block on the outside to spring Lane, Terrell Lane, 5'9", 160 pounds, gives Highland.
Shawn, Terrell Lane came into the game averaging 7.2 yards a carry, 160 yards, 1 touchdown. a long of 35. That was a 21-yard gain. He has 23 yards on 2 carries here today.
See if we could take a look at this. And I want you to look out for 25. Now we're going to get the end of this play. Watch him slipping through here using that upper body strength. That's something that Highland really worked on in the offseason.
There you saw that the player on the field, James Gajewski of Deptford, tangled up with him.
Looks like it might be number 12 there. That is number 12. It's Brandon Harper. Harper, a starter on the offensive side of the ball, a junior. 6 foot 175. It's 179.
So with Highland marching, no score here early in the first quarter, 8:23 to go. We'll be back right after this timeout. And welcome back. Highland marching here. 1st and 10. It's Daniels. Daniels gets inside the 10, and one thing we're noticing with these Highland players, Shawn, is they are very hard to bring down.
Well, especially this guy. I mean, Daniels is going to cause a matchup problem with most teams in the Tri-County Royal, and you see him there. After the initial contact, he's still able to throw himself for 2 to 3 extra yards just because of his size and being able to stretch out.
It's a gain of 5, so it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 9. Of course, Daniel's brother Mike is a member of the University of Iowa football team. Daniels again up the middle, gets down near the 5-yard line. Close to, but a little short of the first down.
It looked like he misread that a little bit, where he could have followed Dave Hansen, the senior tackle, guard, and cut to the right. He decided to go in. But a guy like Daniels, it seems like he wants to draw the contact sometimes. There you see Coach Al Oreo, 64 and 43 here at Deptford.
Shawn, will be a 3rd and 2 from the 6-yard line for the Tartans. Daniels over the 5. He's close to that first down.
And see, that's a good indication of how strong he is, as he's hit by Justin Richards, the senior for Deptford. But even after Richards hit at the line of scrimmage, Daniel's able to move forward for at least 2 yards and possibly a first down. Here you see Shawn Daniels getting looks. Division I, maybe the subdivision.
By the way, that injured player, number 25 for Highland, Daniel Martin, and we certainly hope the best for him.
Daniel Martin, the freshman, was the one I was talking about, who made just an incredible block on that run.
So it'll be 1st and goal from the 4-yard line for the Tartans. You'll think they'll keep it on the ground. There's Lane. He tried to go wide. The ball's loose.
This is something that's plagued Highland. In the first game, they had 4 fumbles against Kingsway.
Still no signal made.
Looked like number 70, Tom Huber, came up with it.
Wow, the ball's at the 1-yard line, Shawn. 3-yard gain, 2nd and goal from the 1. That was a play that took a long time to develop. You would have to think in this close an area, they're going to just have to give it to Daniels. Daniels pulls over for the touchdown, his 2nd of the year, and the Tartans lead it 6-0 with 5:40 left here in the first quarter.
Just too strong, too big to go one-on-one with any linebacker, and Daniel's able to get into the end zone for Highland, so they elude a turnover. Again, something that plagued Highland in its first game against Kingsway. 4 turnovers in that game, 4 fumbles. different situations.
Joe Donnelly will be on for the extra point attempt with Teschner holding. That was a 9-play, 49-yard drive for the Tartans. It's up and it's good. So with 5:40 left here in the first quarter, Highland gets on the board first, leading the Spartans 7-0. You know, while we have a little bit of time, Shawn, as we mentioned, Highland had 8 of 9 running plays on that drive. The offensive line for the Tartans, Dave Hansen at guard. There you see it right there. Just too much strength there. Dave Hansen, 6'1", 224 senior. Tom Doherty, 6 foot, 235 senior. The other guard, the center, Juan Sandoval, 5'7", 223 junior. The tackles, you mentioned Tom Huber, 6'3", 228 junior. And the other tackle, Phil Wynn, 6'2", 276 senior. The tight end is Darrell Lane, the twin brother of Terrell Lane.
And Tom Huber gets a tremendous amount of credit for that, and it's not going to go on any stat sheet other than a fumble recovery. But when you jump on a football down near the goal line, either way, if you're going in or if you're protecting, that's a big play, a heads-up play by Huber for the Tartans.
Kicking off for Highland.
Highland on the kickoff. And there's the Spartans, and they will get it out to about the 26-yard line. That was Lawrence Stillard that time.
See, it's a nice day considering it's 67 degrees. Not much of a wind. They said it's supposed to be a little breezy and get a little breezier as the day goes on. It's partly cloudy. Humid day though.
Dillard again, the deep back. Second offensive series for the Spartans. Well, Cassidy has been going for a long count. There's Dillard. Dillard doesn't get a whole lot as Highland is really swarming to the ball.
What we've seen over the years, Mark, from Deptford is always a big, strong offensive line, power football, running the ball down your throat, and it's just not there for this Deptford team any longer. They just don't have those type of.
2nd and 9 from the 37, not the 27. 2nd and 9 from the 37 for the Spartans. Again, that time it's number 9, Tommy Sampson, and I'll tell you what, it's really, really hard running on this Highland team.
Yeah, they just don't have the guys up front that they've had in the past. Usually they've had guys tipping the scales at 270, 280 who are really good, strong football players. You do have a guy like Marc Atkinson, number 57, on the line, who's 6'3", 298 pounds. You see him there on the far side, number 57. And yeah, Michael Haynes, 6'2", 272 on the other side. These guys are inexperienced.
Complete, but again, Highland right there, and that will be short of the first down. That was a completed pass to Keith Smith that time, but an outstanding defensive play by John Pederoff, and that'll be short of the first down, up at around close to the 45-yard line.
See Keith Smith, he's a special player, senior. He's 6 foot, switched from the quarterback spot, get into the backfield. They'll spot him, they'll put him all over the place and line him up at receiver.
Smith will punt, Sellers deep. And that one goes out of bounds, so it'll be the Tartans' ball. Very impressive swarming defense so far by Highland.
And Mark, they're just winning. They're winning the battle of the trenches for sure. Highland came in with a little chip on its shoulder with this game against Deptford. And again, I mentioned that these two teams aren't the best of friends. I don't know if it's the proximity to one another, but last couple of years they've had a couple altercations during the game.
1st and 10 Tartans from the 32-yard line. 3:36 left here in the first quarter. Highland leading 6-0. There's Daniels. He actually tripped up, but he's got some steam. First down, over midfield, 45, 40. And Shawn Daniels continues to rumble. He was knocked out of bounds that time by Mike Pagan that time.
Yeah, look at the job blocking on that defensive end. Just pancaking him to the ground, and then you're one-on-one with the secondary player, and he's going to win that every single time. You see him slipping off the tackle there against Keith Smith. And that Daniels, what makes him special, he has the speed to get to the outside and the strength to take on those secondary players and for big gains.
25-yard gain, 1st and 10 from the Deptford 43. Daniels again, and this time the Spartans snuff it out.
I mean, there's a good example. You see, there's 2 or 3 extra yards right there, so you got a good look at it. He was at the 43, and then he's able to slip away from a couple tackles and stretch himself for an extra 2 yards. So what would have been 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9 is now 2nd and 6 because of his strength.
Actually 2nd and 8.
Coach Stinson?
2nd and 8 here is Craig Stinson. We'll talk about him. He's done a nice job here taking over this Highland program. And that for Highland was the first carry by Donnell Hooks, number 20. Our first look at him. Tackled by Joe Egan of Deptford, number 59. Game at the 38, gain of 3, so it'll be 3rd and 5 for the Tartans. Highlands attempted just 1 pass here so far. Into the game in the backfield, Ron Reagan for Highland, number 46. Terrell Lane, and he stopped just short of the first down.
Looked like Brent Marshall does a nice job of tackling him down, a 5'7", 160 pounds, a junior. Good amount of juniors on this roster for Deptford. Not a lot of experience returning for this team.
Tartans now have a 4th and 3 from the 36-yard line. Big defensive play here for Deptford as Highland's going for it. Daniels. And a terrific job by Egan, tripping him up that time. Far short of the first down. Joe Egan with the play for Deptford, and the Spartans will take the ball.
Yeah, Joe Egan knifing through, shedding his block, and then tripping up Daniels before he can get those legs moving. Egan with a huge play. Now let's see if Deptford can capitalize off of that. But that's a play that can fire up a team. You see him look toward the sideline after, trying to get his mates excited about what he just gave him, which is the opportunity.
Deptford will call a timeout here. Shawn, while we have some time here, we'll mention the officials today. Steve Egbert, the referee, Tony Genesi, the umpire, Ken Drock, the linesman, Jim Wakeman, the line judge, Rob Rittarelli, the back judge, and up here with us in the booth during the clock is the affable Bruce Davidson.
Egan, who just made that play, he's a kid that takes his schoolwork seriously. He's a good student athlete. Mom played sports. She played soccer, basketball. Went to Little Flower in Pennsylvania. His father played at Father Judge in Pennsylvania as well. So he comes from a line of athletes in his family.
Also, Egan doing double duty. He's the center. The rest of the line, Atkinson and Small, Dave Lassio, and Michael Hayes for Deptford. 1st and 10 from the 36. Dillard, the deep back. Wait, Deptford has been going with long counts. Dillard gets up close to the 40. He's hit there by number 12, Brandon Harper. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6 for the Spartans. The up back for Deptford is Justin Richards. Cassidy to Smith on the swing pass. He's got the first down. Taken down by Darrell Lane, but not until he gets the first down for Deptford.
Yeah, this ball's placed perfectly by Cassidy. Watch where this ball goes. Right out in front of him where he's able to not break stride and continue upfield. Nice job of turning it upfield. Smith, once he catches it, and again, hit at the sticks, he shows his own strength. He's able to get it a yard further, no doubt picking up the first.
Nice tackle, too, by Darrell Lane. That was a gain of 7. 1st and 10, Spartans from their own 47. Dillard's got some room. He's over midfield. The 45 inside the 45. And again, he's met by Lane along with number 14, Andrew Brown. But Deptford running very, very well here.
Yeah, and nice blocks by Richards and Smith doing a nice job to get him to the edge.
So that'll do it in a pretty quick and rapid first quarter here. It's Highland 7, Deptford nothing. Back for more right after this on the Gloucester County Educational Network. Complete to Smith as we come back here, and Smith is still running. He has the first down. He's down near the 30-yard line. Cassidy to Smith, and these two have found some pretty good chemistry here.
Right, that bodes well for Deptford because that could soften that defense a little bit if you have the linebackers taking a step back and respecting the pass. So Cassidy coming out, good play calling by Deptford to try and change.
That was a gain of 13 yards, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the Highland 31. The Spartans marching here as we're just underway in the second quarter.
This is a spot where Deptford has made mistakes in the past. You got to make sure you keep your head and focus in on what you're doing. You don't want a penalty that can back you up and stall one of your drives after you move the ball effectively and start getting a little bit of momentum on the offensive side of the football.
Deptford coming off a 31-7 loss to a team a lot of people think is vastly improved, the Kingsway Dragons, as Al Urio looks on. And the sun is even coming out brighter than ever. 1st and 10 from the 31. Sampson is now the deep back. He gets the ball. Sampson over the 30, close to the 25, and he continues to run the ball very, very effectively. Tackled that time by number 54, Pederoff. Also, Shawn Daniels in there as well. Ball on the 25. That was a gain of 6. 2nd and 4 for the Spartans.
One of the things you'd still like to see a little bit from those Deptford backs is, in that situation, don't immediately try to look for that hole. Try to hit it as quick as possible.
Dondre Parker, number 22, is now the deep back for Deptford, and Parker gets the ball. Parker gets it and just about gets back to the line of scrimmage.
The reason why I say that, Mark, is because Deptford doesn't have those typical big pulling guards that it's had in the past. They can't sustain the block as long. You got to make sure you hit the hole as quick as possible because it's not going to be there as long as it has been in the past for some of these Deptford running backs.
We'll give him a gain of 1. 3rd and a long 3 from the 25-yard line. Cassidy back off the hands that time of Smith. So it'll be 4th and 5 from the 25. And, of course, Deptford has an interesting place kicker this year, Shawn.
Yeah, it's Sam Dimitri. There's been a lot made on Sam. The fact that Sam is a female. She's a senior, 5'5", 123 pounds.
Kicked 2 of them against in the opener against Pennsville.
Perfect on her extra points.
Sampson back as the tailback here for Deptford. 4th and 3 from the Highland 24. Option, Cassidy. Cassidy looking to get it. And this is going to be close. Jake Vaughn, 53 on the tackle. I do not believe he made it. It is Highland ball. That was just a gain of 2.
Deptford turns the ball over on down, and Highland takes over with a first down and 10 yards to go.
1st and 10 from the 22. Pretty stiff Highland defense that time.
It was a good play call to put Cassidy in the option there.
Hooks in the backfield, but this will be Daniels. Daniels just shedding a block over the 25. How many yards has he gotten after he's been hit?
Yeah, he's just extraordinary with the strength. I mean, it looked on that play, it might have been Tyree Atkins on the opposite side who got penetration for Deptford. But you got to make sure you wrap him up and hit him low. You cannot go high on Daniels. You see Coach Stinson.
2nd and 5 from the 27. Lane, Terrell Lane. Oh, and he's held up there, and now he's going the other way. Terrell Lane trying to just get back to the line of scrimmage, and that was a long run for not very much. But Brent Marshall, number 4, was the one that first got in there for Deptford and made Lane reverse his field.
Right, but you're seeing from this Deptford team that tackling is not one of its strengths. And that's something they're going to have to continue to work on during this season if they want to improve, because they're having opportunities. They're getting into the backfield. They're getting penetration. But it's a matter of being able to wrap up and finish off the play and make the tackle. And that's not happening right now.
Shawn, he actually gained 2 yards on that play. It'll be 3rd and 3 from the 29.
Talked about, we saw Coach Stinson. Coach Stinson coached in Florida and Kentucky as an assistant coach. Was originally from Philadelphia, so came back home to be with family. Had the job here, and I think he's a big asset to this Highland program.
One of the things he's done is gotten everybody in the weight room, and it's really showed here for this Highland team. 3rd and a long 3. Hooks, and he will not get the first down.
That's Richards there, it looks like.
Gain of about 1, and it was a nice play that time by Justin Richards. Fourth and 2 from the 30. There you see the deep man, Dillard. Daniels is the punter. What doesn't Daniels do? Dillard fields it at the 40, and he is tackled right away. And that was a nice special teams play by Ryan Sellers.
One of the things he doesn't do is he doesn't go down after the first hit. We're able to establish that. Marc, Daniels is counted for the only touchdown of the game. You see the Trico champs, 2003 and 2004. It was your Deptford Spartans. Delsey in the mix with Clearview, and Williamstown has owned that title over the last 2 seasons. It should come down to possibly Delsey and Williamstown if they don't hit any speed bumps along the way for a big Thanksgiving matchup.
1st and 10 from the 41. Jenkins is now the up back. Sampson, Cassidy keeps it. He brings it up near midfield.
You got to be happy if you're a Deptford fan right now, the way they're starting to fight back a little bit on that in those trenches. They were dominated in that first possession, and seems like they're moving the ball with a little bit more ease. See the mascot there, the Spartan, doing a little dance.
It's homecoming here today at Deptford as well. It's gain of 8, so it'll be 2nd and 2 from the 49. Dillard across midfield, inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line for a first down.
See, with this type of team for Deptford, Mark, you're going to get these plays where you're able to pick up nice chunks of yards, but you got to continue to move the chains. That's why mistakes are magnified, because you don't have the big home run hitter. But a good run by Dillard, picking up good yards and giving them the first down, and they're starting to move the chains.
Absolutely. Gain of 8 that time. Ramos on the tackle. 1st and 10 from the Highland 43. Sampson gets it out to about the 40-yard line. There'll be a gain of 3. And again, right inside there was Pederoff, number 44. 2nd and 7 from the 40.
See Coach Al Urio. There's a couple of new names on his staff. Nick Capolina and Matt Bainey, 2 guys that played for Coach Urio, who's now joined him as assistant coaches, and now is going to go out and talk to his team.
You know, one thing about this Deptford team, Shawn, even though the Spartans have struggled, this is really a junior-laden squad. A lot of people think that the year Deptford's going to take that next step is going to be next season.
Yeah, it's possible, and it depends on what you see from some of the other teams in the world. But what you also have to do is, and we've seen this over the years with some different squads, is although you might be young, it doesn't always equate to being better the following year, because if those young kids don't do what's necessary to improve, not during just the football season, but in the off season, working out, getting stronger, trying to improve, it doesn't matter. It sounds good to say, oh, we got a bunch of juniors or sophomores, but that doesn't always work if you don't put in the time.
2nd and 7 from the 40. Dillard, the deep back. The up back is Jenkins now for Deptford. Cassidy, as he's done all day. And there's Jenkins up the middle. Jenkins is battling him inside the 30-yard line for a first down. Nate Jenkins, a 5'10", 166-pound junior.
Look at him. He's just going to barrel over everybody. He's looking at anybody in stripes, anybody with a white jersey on. Good, hard, tough runner. He was one of the kids that did hit the weight room hard. Cousins with Lamar Sturdivant.
Richards back in the game. Lining up wide left is number 7, Tevin Jamison. Sampson in the slot. Dillard. Oh, and he is crushed that time by number 21 for Highland, Darrell Lane.
A nice tackle by Lane to wrap up. See Lane, a senior. Good size, also plays basketball. We've seen him on Channel 5 here, I believe, against Glassboro a couple of years ago in the playoff game.
Oh, that was almost intercepted that time. Is it a very dangerous pass? Is Ryan Sellers right there? And Keith Smith almost had to play defensive back there, Shawn.
Yeah, he had to, because that looked like that was going to go the other way. And he just read that play perfectly. I don't know if you can get a shot of him later on, but one of the assistant coaches, John Casella for Deptford, and we'll get into him a little bit later.
Remember, Cassidy had success in the option. The draw to Jenkins. Jenkins continues to go, and he is down inside the 20 near the first down as he's brought down by Shawn Daniels.
I like the way Jenkins is playing. You're talking about playing with a chip on your shoulder. That's the way he's running with the football. He's looking for contact, and he wants to make the defender pay. And I like when you see a fullback running with the football, you want him to have that mentality. Watch him here. Just lower down that shoulder, take on the blockers, and trying to pick up the extra yards. That's just putting your head down and playing football. You love to see that from your fullback.
And remember, that's a 166-pound fullback First and 10 from the 18 for the Spartans, down by 7, but marching. Dillard outside. He's got the first down. He's got more.
And who throws the block to spring him on the outside? That's Nate Jenkins again, number 3. Gives him a chance to cut to the edge. And Dillard does the rest, using that good speed to right to the outside. Again, this
14-yard gain, Shawn. First and 10. Or first and goal from the Highland 4.
This is a must for Deptford.
Dillard. And he's stacked up by Highland, but it looks like he got a couple on that.
Can you just push out of the way? Push out of the way? Okay. I think that would be
Now, there's no doubt in my mind what I'd do here. I'd hand the ball right off to Jenkins. He's coming back into the game. But he's playing with a little bit of a tude.
Second and goal from the 2. 4:03 left here in the first half and counting. Highland leading 7-0, but Deptford marching here. Sampson. And a terrific job by, make that for Highland, number 31, Jarrell Ingram that time, stopping him.
I know that the Deptford strength isn't in the interior offensive line. It hasn't been this year. But I'm not a huge fan of being able to pitch the ball out near the goal line. I think you just, when the deeper you draw back, the deeper penetration, you're going to allow that Highland defense to come through.
So that was a loss of 1. It'll be third and goal from the 3. Cassidy keeps it. And again, even though he wasn't, the guy getting the first hit that time was Phil Wynn, the 6'2", 276 senior for Highland. And Cassidy will lose 2 on that play.
Yeah, 6'2", 276, good size. But again, you're going backward to move forward. And I'm just not a huge fan. But here you go. We got a chance to see Sam Dimitri.
From about the 21-yard line, Cassidy's the holder. High snap that time. Dimitri up, and it's good. Tremendous job by Cassidy on the hold and Dimitri to keep her poised.
Nice boot. So Dimitri accounts for 3 points for Deptford. Secret weapon there, number 1. We had a chance to interview her on one of our shows that we do, the High School Sports Report. And Sam and her cheering section right in front of us right here. They're excited. But she's a nice young lady, and she loves the fact that she's now being accepted by her teammates. Yeah. She was acknowledged by the Touchdown Club, had some of her players, and she said, "These are my best friends right now that would come and help me become acknowledged."
There you see it, 12 plays, 59 yards. The interesting thing about Sam Dimitri, one day she said before practice, she was putting on makeup, and the players said, "Why are you doing that?" She goes, "I'm still a girl." So it was great. She played field hockey last year. She's a former soccer player. She's a basketball player, an excellent softball player. And Shawn, that was not an easy kick.
21-yard field goal. She splits the uprights. And right, that's some things, in fact, before the interview, I was sitting there doing a pre-interview with Al, and he mentioned to her, you might, fix your hair if you want. And I said to him, that's probably the first time that you have ever told a player to fix their hair before an interview.
So Dimitri now will kick off a squib kick, and Highland will fall on it, but that was a little hairy that time.
Well, I didn't like the decisions on the goal line, but I love the decision there by Coach Al Oreo to get a squib kick, especially with this field conditions the way it is. The ball's a little slick. You give yourself the opportunity to maybe recover one, but certainly you're not going to get a good run back in that scenario. You put your defense on the field. So I like where Al's head's at with that call. There you see Coach Stinson for Highland wants to get his big man going again, Shawn Daniels.
1st and 10 from the 33. Terrell Lane, and he is stopped immediately. Egan in there again on the tackle. How many times have we called his name?
Yeah, and it's not going to stop either. I mean, Egan's an inspiring player. You know, he lost his father when he was a freshman, a guy who really inspired him to play football. And you know, he's continued to have a little angel on his shoulder pushing him in the sport. And he's done a nice job here, and he's a good leader for this football team and what he does on the field.
2nd and 10 from the 33. Teschner gets out of it, but eventually he is tackled. Number 55 for Deptford coming up with a big play. Ricky Ayers, also Michael Yerix, 54, was in there as well.
After this, a couple guys meeting around the quarterback.
-8 that time, so it'll be 3rd and 18. And if I'm Highland, I'm not in a hurry right now. If I'm Deptford, I'd probably use that timeout after this play. Terrell Lane, he's going wide. Terrell Lane, nice gain, but just gets back a little across the initial line of scrimmage. Richards on the tackle, and Deptford will use that timeout.
Yeah, I'm sure
With a minute left.
Al's looking at that play, and he's hoping Lane is going to go really wide and step out of bounds himself and preserve that timeout. Deptford does a nice job of staying in there. You know, we talked with Coach Stinson before the game, and he talked about overcoming adversity, and that's one of the things that's changed with the attitude of Highland. Over the years, Highland would get down, they'd have a couple of fumbles, and it would magnify itself. This year, he said he's done a nice job, his team has done a nice job of overcoming the adversity. And I said to him, I said, you know what, and just here I was talking with the officials before the pregame, I said, it seems almost like you have a military mentality of how you go about things with structure. And he kind of laughed. He says, well, I'm a history teacher. So those are some of the things that I use in the way I coach, and it's all structure, and he really tries to instill the we, not me mentality in his football team.
Now again, last time, Daniels had a very low punt there. Dillard did a good job fielding it. He's back in pump formation. There you see him. High snap. Blocked! And Deptford has it, and it looked like number 23, Aaron Painter, got his hand on that. And a great situation right now for Deptford, as Johnny on the spot was Jenkins, I believe, recovering that.
Huge, huge play for Deptford. Now a chance to put more points on the board, and the momentum has certainly shifted to the black and gold. What a big play by the special teams of Deptford.
Cassidy gets out of trouble. And he's still up. He's not down.
No, he's down. Yeah, that's the right call. His knee was down.
He was down right about the original line of scrimmage that time.
Al's looking for his challenge flag.
Hey, by the way, if he's down, the clock should be moving, right?
Down, yeah, it should be moving. Then we're going to see here as his knee goes down. Watch that left knee, I believe.
2nd down, 10 yards to go for Deptford. With the ball high on 25.
2nd and 10 from the 25. Cassidy intercepted by number 21 for Highland, Darrell Lane.
Let's take a look at Cassidy here on that play before. Looked like there was some miscommunication on the interception, but here he's going to look for it. Not there. Now here, it probably would have been wise to just try to get to the outside and get out of bounds. He tries to cut it back in and make a play. Watch it. Right knee.
It looked like the right
close.
knee, but
it was
very close.
Man, that was really close. You know, from in live action, I was sure that his right knee touched, but that might have hit it just a couple of blades of grass. So nonetheless,
Highland will have a 1st and 10 from the 20 on the touchback. Now, I think the officials are conferring and saying, was it a touchback?
Seeing if it carried him into the end zone.
Sports team schedules, academic and homework.
It's going to be backed up to
And teacher contact information.
the 3-yard line.
Well, Shawn, this makes a difference because now here it is again.
Let's see if he, watch that right knee. Excellent effort by him by putting that foot down, or hand down.
First and 10 on the
That right knee touch.
First and 10 on the
Right
three.
there, yeah. Right there, you see his right knee is down. Great job by the truck here at
That is a
Gloucester County
great
Educational
job
Network.
by
Yep.
Yeah. Now, Shawn, the difference here is the ball's going to be on the 3-yard line. It's harder to take a knee right now.
That just makes it a little more interesting. Got to make sure you focus here. And Coach Stinson right now telling center and quarterback to make sure that exchange is good and is there and focus in on what you're doing. That's the most important thing at this point. What Highland has done really is that first initial drive with this team with Daniels. They take the fumbled snap, which eventually Deptford turned it over on downs, and they capitalized. Deptford, which I thought was really important for them to score at first and goal from the 4, not able to do so, but at least they get the 3 points on the board, and I really believe that now Deptford has the momentum going into the locker room, Mark, and that did not look like that was going to be the case early on in this game.
Absolutely, Shawn. That's a good point. Daniels gets about a gain of about 1 as he is hit that time by Jameer Ellis and also number 42, Justin Richards. That should be it for the half. Deptford out of timeout. So a very entertaining first half, as tightly contested as we thought. And we're finished the first 2 quarters. The score, Highland 7, Deptford 3. Back for more after this timeout. And welcome back as we here at halftime with Highland holding a 7-3 lead. Marc Narducci and Shawn Leary. Shawn, there's your first half numbers.
Yeah, you can see the Tartans all looked like that was going to be a stat dominated by Highland. They did outgain the Spartans on the ground, 92-79, equal amount of carries for both. You see the passing yards tilted towards the Spartans. Cassidy being able to complete a couple passes to Smith. Total yards by the Spartans, 14 yards. They picked up 1 extra first down. They did have the 1 turnover. Looked like Deptford could have another chance of putting it into the end zone, but they had the turnover there. And what's a remarkable stat, how about the 0 penalties, Marc? A really well-played game as far as discipline goes on both sides of the football for both teams, and that's a credit to the coaches when you have 0 penalties in a half.
Absolutely, Shawn. A well-played game on both sides. And we can't emphasize enough how important it is for both programs because Deptford wants to get in that winning column very badly. And Highland, I mentioned at the top of the show, the Tartans haven't had a winning season since '93. 1 year during that time, they were 5-5. Last year, they won just 1 game. So Craig Stinson knew all this when he came in. He knew it was going to be a rebuilding job, and he really has them competitive. I mean, Shawn, even when they lost to Williamstown 30-3, it was 23-3 late in the game, and from what I was told, Williamstown still had the first stringers in there, scored a late touchdown. So, I mean, that's, as you see the captains at midfield there meeting.
And I'd like to address that, Mark, because I like to throw my opinion out there sometimes. I'm all for a team continuing to play football until it reads zeros. I don't think it's appropriate to keep your first stringers in there when a game is 23-3 in the final minutes of the game. For a number of reasons. First off, you have kids who have been practicing all summer long. In those 2-a-days, you have the opportunity to put those kids in. I think you owe it to them, and it's your responsibility as a coach to do that. You want to make sure that they improve, so give them a chance. What if somebody has an injury? And you don't want to rub it into another team's face. However, I do believe when you are on the field to play football, you play football. And you know what? And listen, don't tell me about running up a score. Stop somebody. Have your kids go out and stop somebody. But, you got to know when to take them out.
Well, Interesting point, and maybe, and we don't know this, but maybe like Williamstown didn't like the way the team was moving and felt it needed the work. But that said, I like to take the first stringers out for the one reason, and that's injuries. You do not want to have a starter go out. You know,
when you have the game in hand. I totally agree. There's a number of reasons why you should do that. And from what I was told, Williamstown did that again against Cumberland last night, and Coach Lake did not like that. In fact, what happened, Mark, there ended up being a fight, a brawl between the players of Cumberland and the students at Williamstown. So nothing good comes out of that situation. I think that Frank Fusatola there at Williamstown and the Williamstown coaching staff need to take a look at that. And here's Sam Demichi kicking it off, Mark.
Kicking it off again. Warren mishandles it and picks it up, and he is tackled immediately. Nice job on special teams by Lewis Stevens, number 24 for Deptford.
And Mark saying that too, I want to make sure that I'm clear as well too. We always hear one side of the story. We hear the coaches that say, you know, they did this, and we hear that side. I'm sure Williamstown and Coach Fusatola has a reason for what he's doing and why he's keeping in his first stringers late in the game. I think that he needs to look at it for certain reasons.
And by the way, as you know from being a longtime newspaper man, it does not impress the polls when you have big scores like that.
No, it's the quality wins that you get on the schedule.
Boy, I'll tell you what. Terrific play, Daniels, and in there, number 6 for Deptford, Mike Pagan.
Yeah, this Deptford team came out of the locker room fired up. I mean, this sideline is really juiced up. And this is homecoming. We had the ceremony during halftime. This is a game where they want to put a W on the scoreboard.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Terrell Lane. Terrell Lane. He's up. He's past the first down. He's going. He's got one man to beat. That's Sampson. Sampson's chasing him. Terrell Lane with the block. Terrell Lane, 79 yards. Touchdown, Highland.
Wow. Mark, I said this earlier about Deptford, and they could take a look at this play and learn something in their backfield. Darrell Lane, there was no hesitation whatsoever of where he was going with the football. He wasn't looking to dance. Darrell Lane, when he had the football in his lane, in his hands, he decided he was going to turn that corner as quick as possible, and if you could catch him, fine. If not, he was going in for a score, and that's exactly what happened for Highland. They were going to extend their lead.
Joe Donnelly with the kick. No good.
Watch Terrell Lane on this. Watch this explosion. He gets to the outside. There's no dancing. There's no looking for a hole. He's turning it upfield and using that great speed of his. He makes the one cut here, and then it's off to the races. Now, I've said it about this Deptford team is they have to do a better job tackling, and there it came to fruition again where they don't make the play, and Highland goes in for 6, so that balloon of air was just popped.
How do you think the Lane family feels with his twin brother Darrell running interference, and they're both raising their hands in the end zone? That must be some feeling.
And their mom's got to be so proud. You know, those two guys are mommy's boys, and they didn't have that father figure really in their lives. And what's nice about the Lanes is they've stuck together, and they credit the mom for really keeping them in check. And mommy's got to be real proud right now of her son's accounting for 6 points.
8 carries, 119 yards now for Terrell Lane. So Deptford looking to get back into it. Dillard, and he is stopped around the 35, a little over the 35 for the Spartans, who have a little work to do here offensively. There you see your time, 11:05 here in the third quarter.
But I was really impressed by Terrell Lane and his explosion on that edge. I mean, that was something you don't see often in high school football. And if you do, you know that's a gifted player. And someone who also gets it, understands the game of football.
The up back for Deptford, again, is Richards. Dillard, the tailback. First and 10 from the 35. It's Dillard. Dillard over the 40. He'll gain about 6 yards. That's a nice run on first down by Dillard. And he's tackled that time by 56 Ramus.
Now, the difference in these two teams, Mark, if you really look at it, it hasn't been much. Both of them have been successful in executing the play on offense. It's just that Highland has that big play capability, and we don't see that from Deptford.
Dillard 8 carries for 42 yards in the first half. Looks like Cassidy kept that. Not very much there. Boy, again, Ramus down on the bottom of the pile. He has made a number of plays here for Highland.
Mark, you know as well as anybody, when you have the ball and you sustain the drive, it becomes harder because every mistake becomes magnified if you're owning those long drives.
3rd and 3. Cassidy slips. Oh, and he will not make the first down. As a great play by 54, John Peteroff that time stopped him from the first down.
Yeah, Peteroff does a nice job of being able to stop him, but that's a shame for Cassidy because it looked like he had an opportunity to cut upfield and be able to pick up the first down. That little slip allowed Peteroff to come up and make the play.
I think Deptford's going for it here. 4th and 1 from the 44-yard line. Spartans down by 10. Early here in the 3rd quarter. Big play here. Jenkins, the up back, we know how effective he was. Dillard has the first down as he crosses the 45-yard line.
Tell you what, I love the way Nate Jenkins is playing football today. He's come out and he's played that fullback position at, as you said, 166 pounds. You see Dillard there favoring his left shoulder, and he's been one of the better ball carriers for Deptford. So that's not a good sight for Al Oreo. But Nate Jenkins has come out and has played, again, with a little chip on his shoulder. And I think one of the better players so far today wearing that gold jersey. 1st
and 10 from the 47. Sampson, the deep back now. As you mentioned, your man Jenkins is at fullback. He's gained 20 yards on 2 carries in the first half, and there he goes up the middle. He's up near another first down. Might be just a yard shy as Shawn Daniels brings him down.
Yeah, no hesitation in this play. It's just straight. Everything is quick. It doesn't allow the defense to react. And there's not a good sight for Highland.
Yeah, Shawn Daniels down on the ground. By the way, Shawn, in the first half, freshman Daniel Martin went off the field. The coaches told us they think he has a hyperextended knee. Now they're working on Daniels. Daniels has had schools like Rutgers. I know Rutgers had a coach, was having a coach coming here today to see him. Temple's been involved. Some 1AA schools, Villanova. I think he could be a very, very good prospect. So.
Yeah, you mentioned his brother, Mike Daniels. His mother, Carlene Daniels, was really big into track. His father, Mike Daniels Sr., was a Rutgers University baseball player, Mark. Sister, Michelle, state track winner in the 100 meters. This is an athletic family. And this kid has not just rested on that. He's worked very hard as one of the leaders on this team to do it in the offseason in the weight room as well. That is not a good sight for Coach Stinson. That's the type of player you go out and you kind of walk with him and ask him if he's okay. And then I'm not saying that coaches don't want certain players or want all their players healthy, but got a guy like that going to the sideline, you get concerned about winning the football game as well.
Sampson remains in the game. 2nd and 2 from the Highland 45. Smith in motion. Cassidy.
Smart play by Cassidy.
Get the first down.
It's just cutting it up, having that field vision.
And we just saw our first flag of the game, and it's obviously going to be a personal foul.
And Highland's starting to field a little bit. They've been able to really stay healthy for the most part. They have another player down. You see here, watch Cassidy. All right, you look into the outside. Right, notices it's not there, and just cuts up into the middle of the field. You're starting to see some of these Deptford linemen do well. I mean, there you see that time Stephen Small, a junior, 6'1", nothing small about him, 250 pounds. Get the flag at the end of that play.
So the ball right now is on the Highland 38-yard line. Cassidy a gain of 7 on that, but again, I saw a late flag, and yep, and it is a personal foul. 64, Mikel Harrison for Highland walks off, but
so it's going to tackle on 15 yards. So Deptford trying to answer that quick touchdown, and again, they got to get it in chunks.
the 1st and 10 from the Highland 24, and at receiver, Joey McDonald, number 10. He splits out wide for Deptford. They have Keith Smith in the slot.
And I think that's who they need to get going in the game. They need him to touch the football, the most explosive athlete for this team. They want to put the ball in his hands. I think he needs to see it. You have him and Nate Jenkins who can get things done for you on the offensive side.
There is Smith, as you said it, and again, Ramus is right there, fumble. Highland picks it up. And recovered by Highland's Ryan Sellers, ever present on the ball.
Now, this play didn't develop. Somebody missed their blocking assignment because there was no place to go for Smith right here as he touches the ball. They're trying to just get him in motion, get that reverse, and play is blown up. And it looks like, as much as I've been saying great things about Jenkins, misses his block. And then Jake Vaughn.
Oh, wait, they're saying no fumble now.
They're saying his knee was down and the play was called dead. Look at this. Talk about a quick hitter.
Boy, Cassidy continues to
I
show his toughness, doesn't he, Shawn?
I love these types of plays because it doesn't allow the defense time to react. You know, they need to basically be right under center to even stop this play with either the fullback or Cassidy going straight ahead. And Deptford is picking up some big yards. You just wish they would have used that down toward the goal line earlier in the game.
3rd and a long one here. Sampson, he'll have it.
Good tough run. Jenkins makes up for it for a good block coming out of that fullback spot. You also had Marc Atkinson for Deptford on that side of the football using his weight. Big Marc, sister Asia Atkinson, if people remember her. Guy that likes to keep it lights on, Marc.
Shawn, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 12. Dillard's still not back in the game. As we saw him go out, he looked like he was favoring his shoulder.
1-7.
Cassidy has had long counts just about all game. There's your guy up the middle again, showing the fullback, Jenkins. He'll get a few.
That's a good, quick first step. That one cut's going to allow him to pick up 2 or 3 extra yards after he gets into the hole. You know, he's only 166 pounds, but he has good footwork at that fullback spot. He hits the hole quick. And right now, Al feeding him the football.
2nd and 6 from the 8-yard line. Deptford down 10, but marching.
Good run.
Cassidy. Touchdown.
That's a
8
good
yards.
Run. Sorry, Marc. A real tough run from Cassidy, and that's little guy just being slippery. And we talked about him being a fiery guy like Jeff Garcia. Comes out here after the touchdown from Highland. engineers a really nice drop.
Dimitri now on to try the point after. Another high snap. Good job by Cassidy, and it's through. So with 5:17 left here in the third quarter, Deptford has gotten back in this game. Trails Highland now 13-10. There's a look at it.
Yeah, watch Cassidy here, and this is straight desire from your quarterback here. He's going to be wrapped up, slips out of that, bumps into his own man, throws himself between two linebackers and gets into the end zone. Nice job by the quarterback of Deptford to get 6.
By the way, and you had mentioned him before, Stephen Small, the 6'1", 250 junior, number 58, a pretty crunching block on that play as well.
Yeah, some of those guys up front, we haven't talked a whole lot about some of those Deptford offensive linemen, but they have done a very good job after looking. There you see 11-play, 65-yard drive, capped off by the touchdown run from Cassidy. Baby Small, as they call him here at Deptford. He had 2 older brothers who played high school football here. Stephen Small. It wasn't a real big, strong kid to start off with, although he's developed into that. He lived in the weight room in the offseason and transferred his techniques from that practice field to the game right now, and he's done a nice job at improving and put in the work in the offseason. Again, that's so important.
Warren Hooks and Terrell Lane back. Now, Dimitri has not kicked these deep. They've been squib kicks. If I'm Highland, I'd probably move up a little bit. Here it goes again. Warren unable to get it. They've had trouble with these kicks, and now it's Warren.
Yeah, it's difficult for an opposing team to get the big play on those squib kicks, and on a field with these conditions right now, which is not only just slippery, but you get those hops, it's difficult to even field the football.
Shawn, that was Cassidy on the tackle. So it'll be Highland, 1st and 10 from the 24. This is some ball game here between two teams, as we said, looking with a lot at stake here and looking to really move up their stature.
Look at the blocks on the outside.
Yeah, that's on the outside. That's Kevin Porter into the game, the 5'11", 160-pound sophomore. Shawn Daniels still not back in the contest.
Right now, Coach Al Oreo showing his defenders a little bit of technique on how to shed some of these blocks and reminding his players what they need to do, especially the secondary. The secondary has not done a very good job. You see Coach Stinson there looking on.
Shawn Daniels is back in the game. That was a gain of 5. 2nd and 5 from the 29. Terrell Lane. And he is stopped. First guy in there was number 42 for Deptford, Justin Richards, but also Gaiske, number 13, who did not make the tackle, actually forced the play away.
So you're going to see Justin Richards. His dad played for West Catholic in Philadelphia, and he comes up and just puts a nice hit on Lane, not allowing him to get to the outside on this play. And he put on 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason.
Terrell Lane gets wide, but again, Richards stops him, and he will be short of the first down. Justin Richards. And welcome back. Deptford with a 3rd and 2, and going nowhere was Jenkins. Highland thinks it has recovered the ball. Either way, looks like it's still Deptford ball, and the Spartans will have to punt. Welcome back, everybody. We had some transmission problems. Highland had to punt. Now Deptford is getting ready to punt after that loss of 3. So it'll be 4th and 5 from the 27 for Deptford. 1:02 and counting left here in the third quarter. Highland holding a 13-10 lead. Smith in punt formation. Tough snap. and it dies inside the 45-yard line. So Highland with good field position, Shawn.
Yeah, and this is getting down to where this time on the clock you start looking at field position. It could become a battle of field position, 13-10 here. And this is where mistakes will loom large if you fumble the ball deep in your own territory, or if you have an opportunity, you need to take advantage right now.
Highland, it sounds weird to say it, they got the 79-yard run from Terrell Lane for the touchdown. Other than that, the Deptford defense has really put the clamps here on Highland here in the second half. Hooks, and again, he'll just get back to the line of scrimmage. An outstanding play by Deptford, number 55, Ricky Ayers.
Yeah, Ayers is in there, but Richards comes up and flies up and makes the initial hit. Now, Richards is playing with a sense of purpose right now at that linebacker spot. And that, you're starting to look at some of the leaders of this Deptford team. It's guys like Richards and Cassidy and Jenkins who are playing at a level or 100% pace that they're just not going to allow Highland to ruin their homecoming day.
Oh, there was a blitz that time. Deptford stayed on side. Daniels crosses midfield. He'll be short of the first down, as that is the end of the third quarter. So after 3, it's Highland 13, Deptford 10. We'll be back for fourth quarter action right after this. Third and 3 for the Tartans. Daniels, he gets the first down on second effort that time. And for Highland, that was a very, very key play. Daniels inside the 45-yard line.
This is where it becomes even that more important to remember technique, being able to tackle Daniels before he's able to get into that secondary. So the linebackers are going to have to come up and not only negate big plays from Daniels, but they're going to have to stop him too, because he's going to lean for those extra yards.
Throw lane in motion. Daniels up the middle. Daniels near the first down. He's got the first down, as he is really a bull to bring down.
And as you get tired in the game, as the game goes on, it becomes more difficult to be able to remember technique and the form that you need to do. It's a little easier in the beginning of the game. So that's why Deptford players are going to have to concentrate. You see Daniels, and he seems like he's a little banged up.
Yeah, he doesn't look 100%. You're right, Shawn. He's getting up slowly, but 12 yards on that gain. It's 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Tartans marching. Ron Reagan into the game for Highland, and he'll get a first down on the carry.
Again, I love what I'm seeing out of these Highland ball carriers, and they just don't hesitate. There's no thinking about what they're doing. They're just going to that outside, they're getting to the corner, and they're moving the ball upfield. Whether it's Reagan or Lane, Hooks.
Gain of 11 for Regan, 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. Highland now showing some depth in the backfield. That's Potter trying to go outside, and he'll get very little there.
Read well that time. Looked like that was Tommy Sampson. And Sampson making the ball carrier go to the outside, and that time Potter had nowhere to go with it. Sampson is looking to go into sports medicine. I mentioned Lamar Sturdivant having a few of the relatives in this game. Lamar Sturdivant's nephew, class of '97 at Woodbury, is Tommy Sampson.
2nd and 13 from the 25. Terrell Lane there. Terrell Lane trying to go outside, and he cannot do it. A tremendous tackle that time by Pagan, number 6 for Deptford.
Yeah, Pagan does a good job, and it looked like the officials might have missed a clip as well. on that play, but nice job. Now you're starting to see the Deptford defense move well from sideline to sideline.
That was a loss of 2, Shawn, so it'll be 3rd and 15 from the 27-yard line. Daniels back in the game for Highland. You could see the difference when he's...
You're exactly right, Mark. That's a great point. Is a huge difference when that big guy comes out of the lineup.
Timeout Deptford. Or excuse me, make that timeout Highland. 9:30 left here in the 4th quarter. We expected a close battle, and it's certainly lived up to its billing between these two Tri-County Royal Division teams. Shawn, I saw Delsey last week. Sal Marchese Jr. said that this could be, has the potential to be, his best team, which, as you know, is saying something because he's won 3 sectional titles and he went to a sectional final and lost, so he's been in 4. There have been some great teams that he's had, but he says we're not there yet. He says that we have the potential to be there. I saw them last week beat Gloucester Catholic. Austin Medley went for 290 yards and 5 touchdowns, and that's one ground game that is really potent.
Yeah, and I think it was 500-some yards on the ground that they accumulated. I mean, Delsey is, say what you want. His team's going to the spread offense. And Delsey does it the old-fashioned way with just getting those big guys up front, pushing the football, and wearing teams down.
Teschner on a rare pass. Oh, and Lane was hit, and the flag comes. There's going to be interference there as Durrell Lane, number 21, was definitely hit.
And there was no need. There was 4 gold jerseys around the football that time. So a lack of they're going to call. Well, no, he's changing it. I thought for a second there he looked like he made a mistake and originally said offensive pass interference, but it is defensive. It's going to be a first down.
Pass interference on the defense.
And,
first down.
Mark, is going to come to it. Somebody losing the focus a little bit, and that might have been one of the plays there.
Shawn, in high school, of course, pass interference is not from the spot. It's a 15-yard penalty, but that was half the distance, so it was technically a 13-yard penalty. 1st and 10 from the Deptford 14. Wow, again, and there is again Hooks and Sampson making the tackle. Highland having a very hard time getting outside right now.
Yeah, and Deptford's right now saying you're going to have to go through the middle because we're not going to allow you to get to the outside. Right now the secondary has answered the call to improve on what they've been doing, tackling those ball carriers, trying to get to the outside.
2nd and 13 from the 17. I'll tell you what, I don't know. The Deptford, you could tell at practice, works on tackling. The technique on this team and its tackling ability is outstanding.
It's improved as this game is going on.
Teschner rolling out. He's got Daniels. Daniels leaps over near the first down. Ball on the ground. Highland ball.
Think this game means something to Daniels and company. Here's a guy who's no doubt not at 100% right now. You can see the way he's even coming up limping, but he's just going to give up his body to try and get that first down.
Gain of 11, so now 3rd and 2 from the 6-yard line for the Tartans.
All eyes will be on number 5 as this play develops. Don't be surprised with probably going for it on 4th down as well. They might try something different.
Daniels inside. He's got the first down. He's near the goal line too.
Daniels, the ball carrier for Highland. Tackle and play by Deptford, number 9, Tommy Sampson. For the game.
This guy just, he'll fall forward for 2 yards. So unless you hit him into the backfield, he's going to pick up that first down.
1st and goal from the 2-yard line for the Tartans.
So important for Deptford here to try to put together a goal line stand and force a field goal attempt. Down already by 3, not an offense with a lot of explosion. This is extremely important for Deptford.
Promptly after the game.
Daniels tries to go over.
He's just too strong. Going to get a hold.
Now we have
That's
a flag.
a huge penalty. I said lack of focus, and there's a big one there. I mean, there's no reason, the way he runs the football, for any of those offensive linemen to hold.
Holding on the offense. Still first out.
That is a big penalty. Big penalty. Now Deptford with the chance defensively to hold him here.
First and goal still for Highland from the 12. 6:47 and counting here in the fourth quarter. Tartan's up by 3 over Deptford. Teschner looking on the slant and tipped that time again by Pagan. How many plays has number 6 made today, Shawn?
Yeah, he's having a heck of a ball game. We've mentioned his name a few times. And there's a couple guys that have really stood out. Pagan is one of them. He's a guy that likes to come up, hit, and make the tackle, would like to major in business once he gets out of high school, but he's been all business on
I
the
was just
football
going to
field.
say, absolutely. Tartan second and goal from the 12. Daniels will try to go wide. Daniels got some room.
Wow. I mean,
No sign yet.
How is he's in?
Touchdown, Daniels.
Great explosion toward that outside. I mean, this not only guy does he have incredible strength, but having him turn in the corner. Deptford didn't do a bad job of trying to string that play out, but he just got to the hole quicker than what the linebackers were able to get.
12 yards, did not see the initial signal on that, but as you said, Shawn, you caught it. And Highland now leading 19-10 as Donnelly will try to tack on the extra point. Tough snap, that. Tough.
Let's take a look at Daniels here, all right? Now, Deptford's going to do a good job. They react to the play and get to the outside. You have Lane in front. Watch it. Richie cuts there. Look at that explosion. Another 6 or 7 steps, and he's into the end zone with them long strides and putting this game to a 9-point, 2-possession lead over Deptford with only 6:33. And remember, why is that a touchdown important? Deptford is not a quick strike team. So now they have to engineer a drive. They're going to have to get 2 scores, play some defense, and a lot is going to have to happen right for Deptford to pull off a win here on homecoming.
There was a block there. I don't know if it was Wynn, it looked like, but somebody just sprung Daniels. And how about Daniels? You know how much he can run up the middle and how strong he is, but be able to run outside as well. 6'2", 219.
Now, Wynn, he's a big kid that's played well, and he's a kid that always had to deal with his size. He credits football for really getting him in shape, and that's something that's kind of hurt his feelings over the years. Maybe some kids picking on him because of his size, a big kid, but he's really toned down and toned up. Really toned up his body where he's become an effective blocker and a leader on that offensive and defensive line for Highland.
I'll tell you what, Shawn, I don't know if I'd want to pick on him. There's a big burst that time by Deptford's Aaron Painter, who brings it out to midfield.
Yeah, it's 6'2", 276. I would say any kids that might have picked on him earlier, they might have seen a couple paybacks, especially on the practice field if it was any one of those guys. And you know what he wants to go into? He's always taking care of Daniels, making sure that his running backs have room to block. Well, he wants to take care of people when he gets out of school. He's talking about going into nursing and becoming a registered nurse.
Shawn, that return of 30 yards by Painter now has Deptford already at midfield here. Sampson, and he's going to throw it. The halfback option pass. Caught! A tremendous job inside the 20-yard line by the tight end, James Gasky.
Yeah, Gasky just goes up and wants the football more than the secondary does. That's a nicely thrown ball. And Gasky's able to go up and just get it. Some schools looking at him as well. He's got good size. He'd like to get into criminal justice. Justice served on that play as he's able to come down with a football. Watch here. He's behind the defenders. The ball's a little slightly underthrown. Look at him behind the defenders. He's just going to come up and make the play.
Now Sampson will not get very much there. It's a nice job of pursuit by Highland.
That's where Sampson, I'm sorry, Mark, he has to cut up the field and get a couple of yards. That's all you're going to get there on that play. You got to make sure that you at least throw your body. You got to turn your body upfield at some point. If you continue to go east-west, it's an easy tackle for the defender. He's got to make the decision. If I'm not going to be able to outrun anybody, let me just turn upfield and get the 1 or 2 extras.
Painter now is the tailback. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 from the 16. Here come the Spartans. Quarterback sneak that time. And again, make that Darrell Lane that time. Cassidy on the sneak and Darrell Lane with the tackle. He gets close to the first down.
I like what Deptford is doing on this drive. They're getting yards in big chunks. That time again going right behind center. That play has worked for Deptford. I consider doing the same thing. Right now they are owning the interior of that Highland defensive front.
3rd and a short 2 from the 10. Deptford moved on the left side.
Outsmarted itself. You try to go on 2, maybe to draw the defense. You lose your focus. And that makes a 3rd and about 1.5 into a 3rd and 6. Mark, that is tough to overcome.
Third and either a long 6 or a short 7.
See Coach Oreo knowing the magnitude of how that penalty may come into play here.
3rd and 6 from the 15. Cassidy, back to pass. He has Smith in the end zone, and actually, lucky that ball wasn't intercepted by Darrell Lane there.
What do you do here? I don't think that San Dimitri has the leg to boot it from this distance. You do need 2 scores.
32-yarder if you're going to kick a field goal, Shawn. So
that might be a little deep for her.
And especially, there's been a little bit of rain here.
Right, footing isn't going to be good. Right,
yeah.
You just won't be able to get the plant and the drive through the football. They're going to go for it. And that penalty was big for Deptford Saint. Now you got 4th and 6. You pretty much have to throw the football.
Or you roll him out. Draw play. And that will be short as Highland snuffed out Jenkins. So Deptford, Highland will take over.
That's disheartening if you're a Spartan. You had the opportunity, and it just doesn't work out. And you see, talking to his quarterback, and you have to learn through different parts of the game. You see how Oreo trying to console his quarterback, who's indeed disappointed.
First and 10 from the 12 for the Tartans. Daniels. He brings it out close to the first down. He'll be a little short.
Gonna get a heavy dose of Big D now. I want to thank Maureen Bilda and Chris Disick, 2 of the outstanding athletic directors, Mark in South Jersey, who treated us so kindly and getting us all the information we needed. And of course, Maureen
and
Bilda.
the coaches, yeah.
Yeah, the coaches, yeah, of course.
Yeah, these are two very well-run athletic programs. Daniels again. Daniels, he has the first down, and the clock is now in the favor of the Tartans. There's no question about that. Gain of 7 that time for Daniels, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 28.
You saw the enthusiasm on the Deptford sideline as the half got underway here, and it was just blown up by Highland coming out with a big long run. That's really a difference in the game.
Daniels again, and he's really got some steam now. He's over midfield. Shawn Daniels putting on a show for the Tartans. He's right at midfield, it looks like. Gain of 22 yards.
Guys like John Peteroff and Tom Huber, Phil Wynn, Juan Sandoval. This offensive line has done enough to get a victory here. Which, I mean, you got to give Deptford some credit because early on in the game, it looked like they were going to struggle in the trenches, and they kind of reverse what we thought was going to be the trend for the game because, let's face it, Highland came down and really drove the ball right down Deptford throats, but they responded to that.
And Highland has done this, right, without a completed pass. It's been the ground game of the Tartans. And the other thing is, Shawn, you can get some big gains coming up right now because Deptford's got to start going for the ball. When you do that, you can miss tackles frequently. 2:38 left here in the 4th quarter. It's been a good one. Highland leading Deptford 19-10. And how about the Tartans, who were 1-9 a year ago under first-year coach Craig Stinson, looking to get to 500. That's Regan. He'll get a couple.
All right, and you mentioned the winning season. They haven't had a winning season since '93. They made it to the playoffs in that season. But that's a long time ago, Mark, and they want to restore and create a little bit of enthusiasm for this Highland football program. And they've done that immediately off the bat by hiring Stinson because I think he is a guy that can turn a program around.
Well, one thing we have to mention is it's 2nd and 8 from the 48. Timber Creek opening certainly didn't help Highland at all. There's Daniels. Daniels, 40, 35, 30. Daniels gives a stiff arm. He could go all the way. Shawn Daniels, 48 yards, touchdown. But there is a flag on the play.
You could sense that Daniels was going to break one. Just with, again, his strength. Well, he's wore down his Deptford secondary and in the linebacking core.
Block below the waist?
Yep.
Up.
Blocking below the waist.
Watch the stiff arm that's going to be thrown here by the big guy. First, he slips the tackle there. There's one guy that misses. There's a hand there. Another stiff arm. That's 3 missed tackles, and then here, cut up field. And then this last one for good measure, it's in your face, and I'm down the sideline. It's just a kid that you just can't match with size. You have to be able to tackle him as a team. If you're not able to do that, you're in for a long afternoon, as Deptford has seen here from number 5.
So the block happened downfield, so it's only a loss of 4, so it'll be 2nd and 12 from the 48. Regan, he crosses midfield, gets a few more.
And what happens, Mark, really, it's not how you tire with your upper body. It's really your lower body, and that you just can't get that drive. And what happens is you try to grab then and not tackle and go low. What happens is you get a little lazy as the game goes on, and that's why a ground game can be so effective late.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder that the Deptford
You see more linebackers trying to stand up and make the tackle as opposed to going low and wrapping around the waist. They're grabbing jerseys. We saw that in the last play. I don't know if we can cue that one up, but it was a good indication of what happens as the game goes on. And you have some of them linebackers who were coming up and making sticks earlier in the game. They're just trying to pull jerseys down.
So it'll be 3rd and 6 from the 46, 1:37 left here in the fourth quarter. Highland 19, Deptford 10. And there is Lane, and he has the first down as he went wide to the right that time. Terrell Lane, what a game he's had.
He stays out of bounds on the Highland sideline.
I mean, just great speed, Mark. I mean, what a combination. You have Terrell Lane at 5'9", 160. He's just lightning quick on the outside, and then you bring in number 5, who's 219, 220. That's 6'2". With that strength, that's a real nice combo in the backfield.
As a way of demoralizing defenses. That was a gain of 12 that time. 1st and 10 from the 32. Highland can take a knee here. Daniels. He stopped by about half the Deptford team, wouldn't you say there, Shawn?
Well, that's how you have to bring them down.
Another timeout for the Spartans. One thing about Deptford's not giving up here. The Spartans are fighting. As that time, Daniels gained 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Well, that's how you send a message to your team that we're not going to quit.
Yeah.
And I agree with Al Orio and this team and not giving up on them and saying, listen, I'm not quitting on you right now. I don't want you to ever quit on me. And translation, and Al's always teaching life lessons. And it's really important. You're teaching that about life too, is not giving up. Always trying. It doesn't matter until that says 0, 0, 0 on the clock that you then surrender and say, okay, well, lost this one. We'll try to get them for the next one.
Second and 7 from the 31. Daniels across the 30. And again, he was met initially by Justin Richards. What a game he's had for Deptford.
Good show of sportsmanship as Richards then helps Daniels to his feet. Hey, you're right. There's been some Deptford Spartans that deserve credit. I mean, every single one of these kids have played well on the field. At some points during these games, we mentioned a lot of different kids, and I don't think anyone really stood out and said there's a weak point here.
I know Richards, Pagan for Deptford made a ton of tackles here today. 3rd and 4 from the 28, 41 seconds to go. Daniels. He will not stay in bounds as Sampson pushes him out. Stop the clock.
Still out of bounds on the Deptford line by number 9, Thomas Sampson. Also with play number 34, Tyree Atkins for Deptford.
Get a good look
Started at the
Shawn Daniels.
26-yard line. Brings up a 4th down and 2.
He'll be playing some big-time college football somewhere, Marc.
I don't think there's any question about that, Shawn.
He's just, I mean, we're 6'2", 220 pounds and can run like that. You're going to find a college that will be trying to use your skills.
I actually think he could be a defensive player in college. Daniels again. And he's just running now down close to the 15-yard line. That'll be the first down. Daniels very slow in getting up there. He's had quite an afternoon. Give them 10 more there. 1st and 10 from the 16. 20 seconds to go. And Highland will not have to run this play, I believe. So Spartans will just line up here and enjoy it. Well, Teschner takes a knee. And that does it. So Highland at 2-2. And what we've seen in this young season, Shawn, is that the Tartans are vastly improved.
Yeah, I mean, you really like what Highland has done here with just being able to run the football with both Lane and then using Daniels. And I love the way they're able to turn the corner. Every single running back is able to get to the outside and make huge plays when turning the corner. Deptford was not able to stop that. They didn't have the answer. And again, Deptford not having the big play strike capability, have to matriculate the ball down the field. You have a mistake here. It might be a false start. It might be a hold. It might be a fumble. They just cannot come back from that.
So the final score, Highland 19, Deptford 10. Back for the post game right after this timeout. And welcome back to Deptford High School, where Highland has evened its record at 2-2 by beating the Spartans 19-10. Down on the field is Shawn Leary with Coach Craig Stinson, and also Darrell Lane, and of course Shawn Daniels. Shawn?
All right, and we're here with the 2 stars of the game and also the winning head coach. And Coach Stinson, this was a game that I know coming into here, you knew it was going to be a dogfight with Deptford. It's been that way over the last couple of years. Yes. And you expected that, right? I mean, there was nothing unexpected out of this game other than it was going to be close.
This is exactly what I expected, a dogfight. It was their homecoming. They wanted to play us for homecoming instead of 2 weeks later playing Gloucester Catholic. Oriole went to the administration and said, we want Highland for homecoming because we can beat Highland. And the kids had a chip on their shoulder all week because of that.
This game, obviously, with you guys coming out with a victory, puts you at 2-2, yes. And that's something that Highland hasn't felt in a while. So this has got to be extra sweet. Now you have something you can build on. That's something you're trying to improve. Is certainly the morale of this program. We're
trying to change the culture in the school, in the community, and develop a winning program. Not just a team, but a winning program, because these kids deserve it. They haven't been 500 probably in about 10 years. Haven't been in the playoffs since the early 90s, so we're trying to change the culture to get the kids to come out, work hard, know how to play football, and get some of our better players into college.
Well, congratulations to you again. Nice game called, and best luck.
All right, thanks.
And we're here with one of the stars in the game. It's Darrell Lane, who played well at the free safety position, obviously also doing a nice job blocking at tight end. But this was a game you guys really wanted. I mean, Deptford and you guys, been a little chip on your shoulders, I guess. Not the best of friends here, huh?
No, sir. Ever since my freshman year, it was just a dogfight. It was a rivalry every year.
Last year, you guys win in the last 2 minutes. How much confidence did that give you?
It gave us a lot of confidence. A lot of confidence.
When you come out here now at 2-2, that really just gives you some momentum going into the season now.
Yeah, we put ourselves back on the map. Highland hasn't been on the map since 1980, 1990. And now we're making the whole South Jersey know that we're out to come.
Well, I like the way not only you're helping your teammates, but you're out there helping everybody. You help the official. You put the hat on his head to give him a little bit of help, showing love to everybody. Huh?
Yeah, I'm showing love to everybody. I'm a good guy.
You want them guys on your side, don't you?
Yeah, I love them. I have to have them on my side.
You're smart there. You help them out. Maybe that might help you down the road as well. Yeah, congratulations to you and a good effort. And this guy was just, you're a monster out there, man. The Division 1A subdivision type football player, and obviously we were able to see what your skills are. This game against Deptford, you have to come in here winning this game because it puts you at 2-2. It gives you some reason for optimism, and like I said, you guys aren't like the best of friends again.
Yeah, I mean, for like the past, and then not only in football, but every sport, basketball, track, soccer, we go at it, every sport. And we just want to come out here and prove that we can beat this team because last year, off that win, a lot of people called it luck. So we came out here with our heads on straight to prove to everybody that it wasn't just luck.
Not only do you have that strength that you possess on the football field, but you have that great burst of speed, but you have some complements of backs who can get to the corner. How dangerous is this backfield as a whole?
I mean, we just it's like a three-headed monster. We got Donnell, we got Terrell, and me and myself. And when Terrell gets to the outside, as you've seen out there, he's fast when he gets there. Donnell brings his speed to the other side, throws defenses off, and then they just give me the ball and me pound up the middle, so they don't know what's coming.
When you see a guy from the secondary coming in to try to make a tackle, what's going through your head?
Depends. If he's low, I'm going high. If he's high, I'm going around him.
Anyway,
right through him.
anyway, you're punishing him. Congratulations to you on a terrific effort and a good win for Highland. And, Marc, these guys, they're not just thinking 2 wins. There's a lot of hope and optimism right now in that Highland program. Back to you, Marc.
All right, thank you very much, Shawn. What a day. Daniels, unofficially, I had him for 159 yards rushing on 25 carries with the 2 touchdowns. Lane with 132 yards, 12 carries, and the 79-yard touchdown run. So that'll wrap things up here. Highland 2-2 on the season and really vastly improved this year. Meanwhile, Deptford drops to 0-4. Once again, that final score, it was Highland 19, Deptford 10. For Shawn Leary, Marc Narducci saying thanks for watching and have a good evening, everybody.